while I'm not surprised that it's $100 million business today, that wasn't like, it started as my passion project. It did not start for me to be like, how can I create $100 million business? It was not.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Forbes Top Creator Show. I'm Forbes editor Steve Bertoni. Today, we have a guest with more than 2 million followers on Instagram and across social media. She also has her own multi-million-dollar clothing brand, which sells out in seconds whenever she drops it. Everyone, welcome Daryl-Ann.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. I can't wait to chat with you.
Welcome to the show. I can't wait.
Honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but quick for my audience, if someone is meeting you for the first time, what is the one piece of content they need to check out to like get you?
So I am a mom. I think I grew up in this like Instagram stories becoming a vlog type of sensation as a creator. And so I think for me, if you watch Instagram stories, you'll get a good vibe of so like who I am, how I live, like very much I want to connect with people like I'm their friend. Like they met me on the street, they're FaceTiming me every day. And so that's kind of how I show up online every single day. And I think that that's the best way you could get to know me as fast as you could.
Well, there's a lot of moms, millions of moms on social media. What do you think about you and your brand stands out?
I think that I'm very intentional about caring about the person on the other side. I never went into creating content to make money. That being said, I didn't go into it to make it small. I went into it. I mean, my mentality is never like, let's see if we can make something small. It's always, let's see how big we can make something. But at the end of the day, I really care about the woman on the other side that's watching. I feel like even you talked about Nudes, we can get there. But like even with our customer service team on our clothing company, I'm like, treat her like she's my sister. Mm-hmm. Each girl isn't just like a number to me. It's not a 2 million number. I see one every single time. And so I feel like I'm connecting with one person face to face almost every single day, as wild as that sounds, because yes, it's my phone, but I've really put the girl on the receiving end above everything, above money, above numbers, above anything. And I think that that's what's resonated and why it's been successful.
How did this all get started? Because I did some background reading on you, and you were a former chemistry teacher.
Wild, yes.
And then you started social media, I guess it was called vlogging back in the day, 2015, which is 10 years ago, which isn't that long, but in social media terms, that is like archaic.
Yep.
And now, bring me to your brand and Nudes. Like, how did you start this wild social media journey?
Okay, so like you said, I mean, it's 10 years ago feels archaic. The amount of transformation and change in the past 10 years, I mean, it looks completely different than when I started. I started blogging as a creative outlet. Again, never went into it to be, I don't think I ever go into anything to be small. I think it really matters what your intention is, like what you set out to do from day one. And so I started a blog. It was all about clothes as an outlet from being a chemistry teacher, like you said.
You go. What was the blog called?
Something Beautiful, which we can totally connect that. And I kind of like created this ecosystem online that was separate from my personal life, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but kind of to make it so that I didn't get embarrassed with those people the people you're most embarrassed to find out about it are the people who know you the best.
Yeah,
kind of
your friend, like your friends ripping on, all that stuff.
Yeah. So I think having this ecosystem online that was called Something Beautiful, my whole goal and core was to like, okay, let me show styles so that other girls can feel beautiful about themselves, right? Which is wild because the connection to what I'm doing today is really cool and we'll get there. But so I started this blog and then my husband encouraged me. He's like, share it on Instagram. And at the time, Instagram was static stills. I think Instagram stories was out, but nobody really used it. It was like Snapchat or Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram is still like just your friends. It wasn't this whole like media platform.
It's wild. So I remember it like it was yesterday. I was like, well, maybe I should start like my own side Instagram for this like blogging thing, And he's like, no, just do it on your personal. You already have 440 followers, right? Like,
were you blogging on like WordPress or like?
It was on WordPress, yes. Yeah. I think it actually started on Blogspot, which I don't know if anyone.
I remember that, yeah. I can still see that like orange bee in my head, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then then you were like really knew what you were doing when you moved to WordPress, right? So anyways, we did that and I knew nothing about websites or you learned as you went. This whole thing has been learned as you go. So he's like, you should share on Instagram. So I start sharing on my personal Instagram, my outfits that I would share on my blog. And I'm not joking you when I tell you my worst nightmare. I went from 440 followers of all my friends and family to 220. And so I lost 50% of
You lost it. All right. So your first, everyone talks about their viral moment. You had like an antiviral moment.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep. So I started this and it's like one of those like gut punches, like, are you really committed to this? Do you really want to do this? Like, is it worth the embarrassment? And one of my favorite quotes is, embarrassment is the cost of entry. And so I think it's really true. Like, that was my cost of entry in order to do it. And I was like, well, do you like it? Or do you think you can do it or not? And so it was like all my friends' husbands are like, what the heck is she doing? Like, why is she posting her clothes? After like a month, they're like, I don't want to follow this anymore. This is weird, right? And it wasn't blogging and Instagramming and sharing stuff like that online was not like a common thing people followed at the time. Now that seems wild, but at the time that wasn't the case. And so I started sharing my clothes. It was all this like very perfection, aesthetic. Everything was perfect on social media kind of vibe.
What was it? So were you like taking selfies in the mirror kind of thing? Okay.
Selfies in the mirror, the upside down ones at the time. I mean, they were like taking like your body. It wasn't really about the person. It was about more of like a different version of Pinterest, I guess, like a version of like inspiration for people. It was all aesthetic, it was all curated. This whole like trend we've seen that I'm like so in love with about real, authentic, all that, it wasn't there yet. Like we weren't there. And so
people are still taking pictures of their fancy food.
That's all it was.
Which I still do, but yeah.
Yeah. But that's all. It wasn't like, oh, here's a picture of my fancy food to balance out my chaos life. It was like, this is only the best parts. And so I think then we saw this shift of like people like feeling crappy on social media, which I know still exists today. But then I made no money at first. It was all as a hobby, not like I don't go into anything small. So I was trying to make it a big hobby, but like it was a hobby. I wasn't making money the first year. My husband and I talk about it. I lost $20,000 doing it the first year because I had to buy like a camera if I wanted to do it. It was like, I committed to this hobby. I bought a camera. I bought computers. I like tried to get better at it.
I'm sure you bought clothes and be like, I'm going to post this.
Right. And like affiliate income was my only way to like recoup some of that at the time. Like it didn't balance it out. Like I said, I lost $20,000 the first year I did it. But it was just this hobby. That's how I looked at it, as like, I didn't even realize, nobody did at the time, that like people can create a living off of it. It wasn't like that in 2015, 2016. It was like some people did it more successfully than others, but it really was not what it is today. And so like flash forward a couple of years, I started, again, like any money I made off of it was just affiliate income of people clicking on links, buying things. But I still always, I'm an Enneagram 8. I don't know if you know what that is.
I'm sorry?
Enneagram 8.
No idea.
Okay. So it's like this.
But tell me, I want to learn.
I'll tell you. So it's like this personality test. Okay. And an 8 is like, I'm just like honest to my core, right? So like I cannot lie about a single thing. Well, if I couldn't do it, first of all. And I'm like pretty blunt and pretty honest. Okay. And I think in being a creator, that has served me so well because it's helped me build this level of trust and authenticity since day one. Because if I don't like something, you're going to know it. And if I do like something, you're going to know it. And it's believable because it's the actual truth. And I think what I didn't know I was doing at the time was creating and building, making money or not, this level of trust with an audience that was following me that's like same stage of life, same, like girls, we were growing up together, right? Doing the same thing. I was young 20s, like, and we were just kind of living alongside each other, let's say, right? It looked pretty at the time. I didn't get to show like really who I was. But that came out about 2019. I had my first kid. Okay. Instagram stories became like a popular thing to do. And it was kind of one of those moments, I've had several of these in my creator career, but like, you don't jump on, you're going to be irrelevant. Like you better like switch gears here and like start doing this. And as uncomfortable it was at the time, it was like, you're constantly reinventing yourself and like what you're doing and trying new things. And so it was one of those things. And I was like, I'm going to have to do this. Now I've got a kid, which was a aggressive transition for me personally, but like huge life change. Yeah. I was like, I'm making no money at this. Like I was ready to throw in the towel. I was like, everything is perfect. My life is a hot mess because I am learning to be a mom for the first time. I'm trying to make money on the side at a job while I'm trying to keep this hobby alive that now I've invested 4 years in. So it's not little to me. Like it's a big deal. And I feel like I've given it my all for 4 years. I'm not ready to just throw in the towel.
By the way, were you still teaching at this point?
No, I stopped teaching and I was like doing accounting for our family's construction company. Okay. I've done wild. Okay. So I'm doing accounting on the side. I've got a kid. My husband's like, I'm obviously working full time because I'm not making money doing my hobby. And so we had this like honest conversation and it was summer of 2019. I remember it like it was yesterday. Across our kitchen, it was not cordial conversation. We were like, I was emotional because I felt like I had to give it up. Like I wasn't making money and I wasn't sure how much longer I could create this perfect persona online while living a hot mess behind the scenes. And it wasn't making us money. So it wasn't like I had to commit to it. And my husband's like, so do you want to quit? And I was like, no, I love this. Like, I don't want to quit. I feel like I've fostered this connection. I like what I do. And I was like, we came to the conclusion that I either had to show up authentically as myself, which wasn't popular at the time. That was not still, it sounds like dumb to say now because it's so immediate and obvious. But at the time, like talking about how like you're a mess in the morning and your dog pees on your carpet and stuff like being real and relatable wasn't an online thing at the time, especially on Instagram where I was. And I was like, you know what? I've either got to like do it and go all in and just like show my cards and be who I am and let go of this perfect persona and just be a mom and evolve, or I've got to like let go, like throw in the towel, one of the two. So it's either going to go down burning or I just throw it in now. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. It was so symbolic. You're going to laugh. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was Labor Day weekend of 2019. And I like had long extensions like every creator did back then. And I cut them all off. I like cut my hair to my shoulders. And I like showed up the next day, like no makeup, full, like my kids spit up all over me. And I was like, just started showing up like that. And
I hear about people like burning the ships, but you actually like cut your hair.
I cut my hair off. Yeah, just cut it off. I was like, I'm done with these perfect extensions that take me 3 hours to do every day. I'm like, I'm out of here. Like, I can't do this anymore. And I just started showing up as myself, scared as hell. Like, obviously, like I'd never done social media that way. Nobody really did at the time. Like a few people did maybe, but I wasn't watching it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And so I did it. Absolutely took off, which now it's like, no duh, of course it did. But at the time, it didn't feel that way. And so from then on, it absolutely took off. From 2018 on, I had like double-digit growth every single year. It was wild. I think I went from, at the end of 2019, I think I had 200,000 followers. I shot to 1 million in like less than 12 months.
Wow.
It was so fast. And then, COVID was like just another steamrolling season for creators.
Yes, when everyone was a hot mess. So you kind of, it all worked.
It was great.
Yes.
It was iconic timing. But at the same time, it was like perfect timing too. Like I was able to practice in public, I guess you could say, from 2019 to 2020. And then everybody was showing up just as they were because nobody could do anything. And so that's kind of the story of like how it all got started, pre-Nudes, but how I got started as a creator.
That's so cool. Tell me about that first video you said, like you showed up like a mess. And what was it? Remember what it was? Like that?
Yes. I remember like it was yesterday. It was an Instagram story. And I got on the morning after I cut off my hair. Okay. And I was in a hotel in Scottsdale, Arizona, because that's where we were when I did that. And I was wearing this like oversized, huge t-shirt, nothing stylishly appropriate like I'd shown up online for the past 4 years. I had a 9-month-old like on my hip. Okay. Spit up on my shirt. And I was like trying to curl my hair and like show people how I curl my hair as someone who has no idea how to curl hair. And I'd never done like a beauty anything. It was just like, this is a mom who has a kid on her hip also trying to curl her hair who looks a mess and like maybe it'll turn out good and maybe it won't. And that was the first time I feel like I showed up like authentic, like people are going to love it or hate it. Like I'm not this aspirational person that like I've shown up as for the past 4 years.
What was the response?
Wild. So like I said, it like people were like, oh, it's so refreshing. It's so good to see. Because at the time, authentic social media wasn't a thing. Today, thank God it is. Like, it's so cool that it is. Yeah. I think people still feel like, there's always some comparison because, I mean, even today, I try to be as real and authentic as I can be. I talk about my struggles as a mom. I talk about my struggles as a business owner, as a wife, as a person, whatever, like mental health, all that stuff. I talk about all that stuff. But like still I'm not filming my kid when they're having a meltdown. So like you can only be so relatable, like because I'm not going to whip out my camera and be like, look, my kid acts like this too. Like I'm not going to do that. I can say it, but you usually see my kids acting awesome. And I also don't want to paint them in a bad light. So like they are kids and I am a normal mom and I'm going through the same things they're going through. And I think that just like being honest and relatable has got me this level of trust with my audience that has taken is the responsibility for all of my success, is the fact that like I have invested in them and I care so much about who they are and where they are, more so than my success ever at the end of the day. And I think that is ultimately what's made it super successful. You said before you kind of did that switch, being authentic, you had 200,000 followers, which especially back in like 2018, 19, it wasn't insignificant. Decent,
What was their response? Because they're used to seeing you perfect, I guess, in your fashion shoots and stuff, or your fashion. Yeah, I stopped doing all of that. What was the OG fans? What were their reaction to your new kind of style?
That's such a good question. I don't think I've ever thought about that or like consciously. I don't think I mean, I'm sure I did, but I don't think anyone was negative, like had a negative thought about it that I know of, at least. The hate really wasn't a thing too. I think pre that I showed up as very kosher, which we can totally talk about as like palatable to everybody. And standing here today, everybody's different, but that's not my stance on how I like to do it today. But I showed up as palatable to everybody. And when you become relatable and like personified to people, nobody hates that. Like, I mean, what is there to hate? I'm sure somebody does because people hate everything.
Yes.
But like,
You pick one thing, they'll hate it.
I mean, sure. But I don't remember hate then, which is wild because, I mean, today I'm no stranger. But like, I don't remember it then. I also don't know if it was as big of a thing then, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Maybe today it's more wildly appropriate and out there. But yeah, I'm a big believer. If everybody loves you, you're doing something wrong and you're not really loved by anybody. I think like if everybody loves you, then just everybody really likes you. Nobody really loves you because my thought is the greats at everything. It doesn't matter what you do. The greats at everything, people are passionate about them. They either love them or they hate them, whether it's sports, politics, like whatever. The greats at everything, whether you love them or hate them, people feel strongly towards them. And I would argue even that the greater you are, the more passionate people love you or the more passionate people hate you. And so I've never set out since 2019, not since day one, but since 2019, I've never set out to be liked by everybody. Like, I mean, I'm for some people and I'm definitely not for others that love to make that known. And that's okay. Like, I'm cool with it because I feel like that is what makes the loyalty and the love so strong. And that's just a side effect. Like, I was here in New York with my kids. I think it was Natural History Museum. There was like this picture of a shark. It was like an exhibit. And the quote on it, I'll never forget. It was years ago. And the quote on it was, "To be great is to be misunderstood." And I was like, you know what? It comes with the territory. Like it's the cost. Like and so from that day on is when I started, like 2019 on is when I started to get hate and love. But the love is way stronger. And if I was palatable to everybody the way I was back then, I'd never have a business that I do today. And so, yeah, that comes with hate, but it also comes with like this massive trust, love, following that people feel like they're a part of a community, which is really cool.
I love how you got inspiration from like a shark exhibit at the Museum of Natural History. That's cool. I like that.
I pulled that out of left field for you, but yeah.
No, that's good. That's like your chemistry teacher stuff going back and forth.
So crazy.
You mentioned the hate and love.
Yeah.
And you said you're fully accepting that you need to sometimes receive hate.
Absolutely.
But it's not easy. How do you deal with it personally?
Good question. So I think there's like two conversations here. Canceling is like one whole I've been canceled before. That's a wild ride. And then just like your day-to-day normal attention grabbing, whatever. Personally, we all know that Reddit exists. Yes. I've never read my own. And like it's something that I am really strong about. And like I have a whole family that now we're kind of like, they all have a little bit of a platform, which is super cool to see like that effect now become generational, which is so wild because like my mom has a platform, which is so cool. My sisters have like full-time incomes from it, which is so rewarding.
Oh, it's like a whole, you're like online Kardashians.
I would love that. That'd be sick. But yeah, I respect them highly. But like the thing is like, I think that with that, the hate, like people talk about it. And I've told my family, I'm like, do not ever open it. Because my thought is I want to keep my head straight doing what I'm doing. People are going to hate it. They do. And it's okay. And like, I think that I have the more you do it, the stronger backbone you get. First of all, like I think that confidence doesn't come overnight. I think you walk in it. It's like a trained muscle. I don't think it's like I showed up today as confident as I was in 2019. I absolutely was not. I think if I saw some of the public things that are said today, I'd be crushed in 2019. So I think that like you do build a muscle. Like confidence is a muscle that I think you train. But I do think that I never go looking for it because I never once you read it, it's in your head. And whether or not that affects your confidence level, it's going to affect your output. At least it's going to be like, if somebody says, I don't like how Daryl-Ann does X, Y, Z, when I do that thing, regardless of whether I'm doing it to spite them or not, it's going to be in my head. And I don't ever want my content to be created out of people who dislike me. I always want it to be created out of like what I have a heart for or what I feel like people who are following me have a heart for. I never want to have a preconceived notion of like, do or don't do this because somebody dislikes it. And I don't have that right now. So I don't have that filter of knowing, oh, they talk all day from what I understand. Like she did this, whatever. And like, I'm like, first of all, if it's accurate, great. If it's not accurate, most of the time it's probably not accurate, and I don't know. I just don't let it become a part of my day to day. I have been canceled. That was a wild ride.
Tell me about that.
Yuck.
Yuck.
Yeah, I think I would approach it today differently than I had then. There's a naivety to it that if you've never been through it, it's scary. And like having somebody to walk through it with you is life changing. I had somebody walk through it with me who had been canceled, and her name's Kara. Her platform is taking care of babies, very different than what I do. But I remember she called me every day for an hour, and we just like sat on the phone together. And she's like, it's gonna be okay. I promise it's not as loud as it feels. I promise it's not as big. They'll move on. And I was canceled in 2021 over COVID, of course. Somebody was mad about how I handled COVID, which is okay. Like, I understand. It was hot then, right? So it was very heated. Everyone was heated.
Yeah. So you were more, what were you doing that made them upset?
My mom got COVID.
Okay.
And they perceived that she did not follow the rules as she should, which she did. That's irrelevant. Like, I mean, whether or not you show receipts, there's no way to prove indefinitely, especially to people that are frustrated and angry, that what reality is. Like, it's their reality. That's how they perceived it. Like, forget it. It doesn't really even matter what the truth is at that point. That is what they believe. And that's kind of how hate runs. Like, you're never going to prove them wrong. Like, no amount of receipts are going to be enough, And so I remember going through it, walking through it every day. It feels very loud. My mom was hospitalized, which was scary. So I was walking through this.
So she's hospitalized, and then people were mad at your mom.
And me. Very angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I know one day my mom will get me canceled too. So I'm just waiting for that.
My mom, she was more gosh, my poor mom. She was like out of it because she was hospitalized and nobody could see her, obviously. She didn't really know what was going on. Yeah. Thank God. I'm so grateful she didn't. But like, people are wild, like death threats to my mom, yucky stuff. I like logged her out of her own page so people couldn't be talking to her while no one was with her, kind of a thing. It was intense. But I will say, like, walking through that now, at the end, I had like, these people exist. A cancel culture attorney. Never knew that existed. It does. Yeah. And like a real attorney. So they were reading all that was going on for me, which was really helpful because then I didn't have to read it. Because like somebody's trying to keep a pulse on BuzzFeed writing XYZ article, blah, 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 whatever. And so they were doing that for me. I didn't have to get in the weeds of like hearing what people are saying while I'm stressed about my mom and the whole nine. It's just a time thing. Like, you let it ride. Somebody came to me literally a week ago. She tagged me today in a story, and she's like, because I've been walking with her the way somebody walked with me. And I'm like, I promise I don't even know it exists. It's like, I am in this world with you and I don't see it. Like, it's not on my For You page. Of course it's on yours. Like, I'm in this world with you and I don't see it. It's only loud because they're loud.
Gotcha.
Like, it's not that loud. The real normal people of the world don't care. Like, no one's out here. It just feels really loud. It is hard to get through. I think going through it today, I'd be a lot less scared than I was then. Because I don't think anybody can nobody can cancel somebody who doesn't really care, first of all. And I think I would care less today than I did then. And then I really think you can't, like, again, people love you or they hate you. And like, if they hate you, like, I've learned to be like, whatever, like, let it ride. Like, let them hate me. At the end of the day, like, I'm not going to apologize for something I'm not sorry for. And I really wish that, like, back then I knew that. Like, if I didn't do anything wrong, and I didn't have to say sorry. Like, I feel like today a lot of like advice that people are given is like, well, just apologize to appease. And I think that's personally for me, as like, remember I told you I'm like honest to my core. That's the wrong move. I think that like the only people that appeases are the people that don't like you. I think the people that do like you are going to stand by you whether or not, for what you believe. And I think that today I would approach it a little bit more aggressively probably than I did then. But I've also gone through it before, So like, I think that, of course, it's scary the first time. I think I'm blessed that I walked through it. And I think you can't take something away. Like, I was telling the girl that I was walking through it with the other day, I'm like, they can't stop you. Like, you can't stop somebody who won't give up. Like, don't give up. Like, just keep going. Like, you're going to make it through. Like, in a year from now, nobody's going to be talking about this. And you're still, I told her, I was like, my business came back better than it ever had. Yes, I lost money in the meantime. I think in 3 months, I lost $1 million. Like, it was wild. Of just people who, brands that are nervous for PR's sake to take on somebody, especially in 2021. I don't blame them, But yes, you might lose money, but my business today is way stronger than it was then. And that nobody could threaten that if I didn't stop, if I didn't quit, if I didn't give up, if they didn't make me quit or give up. You can't take it away from somebody who won't quit, you know?
I got to ask, what does a cancel culture attorney do?
They charge you what an attorney does and they read your Reddit, and it's a waste of money. I would never do that.
I'm sorry, they do what?
They charge you what an attorney does. So
Okay.
imagine $500 an hour, something stupid.
Okay.
And they read your Reddit. They make sure that like nothing's coming out that's new. They talk to brands to appease them and try to like make things kosher and be like, explain that it's not a big deal. Try to be on your side. Try to, like, I got on Zoom calls with like the brands I worked with and them. Like, let's talk about it. Let's walk through like our game plan. What are we going to do? How are we going to continue this partnership? When should we pick it back up? That kind of thing. They're just like help strategize.
Gotcha.
She was great. I just probably wouldn't do it again.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I love this. Like you're walking with someone now, you're helping someone now going through this.
Yeah.
And you told these great stories. But what if someone said, Daryl-Ann, what is kind of your social media crisis strategy playbook? Like what are your 5 steps? Because it sounds like you have like a really good.
Okay, I don't know that I have 5, but I'll tell you what I would do. Okay, 3. I would
advice for getting through a crisis if you're on social media.
2 things. 1, I kept my head down and kept going as if nothing was happening. I wish for my own mental health I would have stopped for a second. I don't think it affected anybody externally. I wish for my own mental health I would have been like, it's okay to take 7 days off. Just take 5 to 7 days off. Regroup. Because when you turn it off, it's like it doesn't exist. Like the minute you turn off your phone, you take the app off, it's like it doesn't exist. And you realize what's important. It like grounds you and makes you realize like this is not as big of a deal as it feels like. Because it feels huge, right? Like it feels intense. It feels like it's the entire world when you're walking down the street and you're like, this person has no freaking idea that all these people are mad at me. Like no one knows. So it helps you get a level head, I think. So I wish I would have turned it off for a minute. And I kept posting like business as usual. And I wish I would have stopped for a second. I think the second thing is I wouldn't apologize for something you're not sorry for. Whether or not, if you did something wrong, like apologize. Like I'm here for it. But if people just don't like what you did, but you didn't necessarily do something wrong or you weren't like really rude or anything like that, like I think apologize when you're sorry and mean it. Otherwise don't do it. And I think that just like knowing the third thing I would say is like knowing that the greater you are, the more love you're going to get, the more hate you're going to get. It is what it is. Like, I think that, but you're never going to create something really great unless that comes with it. Like, so if everybody likes you, like there's some platforms I see where I feel like, and even I can be discouraged by it as a creator. Like, God, it feels like everybody loves this person. And like my husband will remind me, he's like, yeah, but then nobody truly is passionate about it. Like, I think being somebody that people like feel like a ride or die. Like, I feel like that's something really special about my audience is I feel like people who come and work for Nudes, they're like, wow, it's like a cult following. I'm like, yeah, but that comes with the territory of like cult hater also. And I'm okay with that. Like I've learned to be okay with it, but I think it's a trained muscle. I don't think I was chill about it then as I am today. Today, it doesn't bother me. It's fine. And I think I'm a mom. I think I'm 34. I'm a mom and I'm like, I don't have time for this. Like, you know what I mean? Like I like go for it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have time for it. I'm going to show up every day and do what I'm here to do and like what I have a purpose to do. And I know in my gut, like that is my calling, what I'm doing. And this is a distraction that I'm not going to let stop it kind of a thing.
You mentioned before when you first started for years, you weren't making money, you were losing money.
Yes.
How did you start making money and what brand deal made all the
That's
difference?
such a good question. So my very first brand deal I ever got paid or I ever got offered payment for ever was $150. I'm not kidding you. And I turned it down. And because it was a gift basket company that I personally, like very popular, everyone knows it. I personally wouldn't use it and I never liked getting them. Just wasn't my thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. And I was like through the roof when I got the email. Like so-and-so wants to pay you $150 to make an Instagram post. Like this is a long time ago, obviously. But like, I was like, oh my God, like I can make money at this. Like it was like the coolest thing. And my husband looks at me and he goes, you don't like that. I almost just said the name. He's like, you don't like that. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so don't do it. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I didn't do it. And I said, no. I said like, thank you very much. But unfortunately, I'm not like, I'm not a consumer of that. So I'm going to have to pass or whatever. And from that moment on, thank God I did that because I think it literally established in me that saying no was my most powerful thing I could do to build trust with my audience. And it's gotten me the biggest career advancements like of all time. I think that I started making money, like I told you earlier, from I would say 2015, which really wasn't anything, but like to 2020, affiliate income was my biggest income.
So basically, you post a picture with this sweater, and then someone likes it and clicks it, and you get paid a couple bucks.
LTK, now it's Shop My, whatever. Like now there's differentiation. But at the time it was LTK, reward style. So that was my first season. I didn't really know people made money. And then the Nordstrom sale, which is ironic that it's happening right now. But like that was that's like a Super Bowl for a fashion blogger of the 2018 era. And like 2018, I did it and I covered it for the first time. And I made in the tens of thousands of dollars. And I was on the floor. Like I was like, wait a second. Like this is like half of my yearly income I'm making in 2 weeks. Like what is this? Like this is crazy money. Like, and I had such a respect for it because I had done it so long for free, you know? And so like, I was like, what in the world? Like I didn't do anything different than I had done it the past 4 years, but all of a sudden it just like took off from an affiliate income. And so I think 18, 19, and 20, I like definitely affiliate income was like my biggest portion of income. That's the best I can say it, especially 2020 with like COVID and like people shopping online. Amazon was massive and like really coming onto the creator scene. And I had like lots of calls with them. And so that was a big deal for my business. And then I would say once I hit like 1 million plus followers, the brand partnership part took over. And so then today I would say it's like exactly flipped. Affiliate's great, but my brand partnership income is obviously like where I make almost all of my income.
You said the power of saying no to things. What was the first brand or deal you said yes to?
It was a t-shirt company. I can't even remember the name. It was cute. I thought it was so cute. And I remember, gosh, I can't think of the name. It was a small company, small business, which I'm like very passionate about small business because I'm an entrepreneur and like I come from a family of entrepreneurs. And so I remember it was a small business. They offered me $500 now to do, I think it was 2 posts. So I like remember I shot a picture of it by my pool. It wasn't Instagram stories or anything like that. I was like by my pool. It was cute summery t-shirts, graphic t-shirts. And it was $500. And then I remember my first like long-term contract, I was on the ground because a company offered me like I think it was $10,000 for a full year of posting. And I was like, oh my God, wild. And it's so full circle because that same company I still worked with last year and it was my biggest contract to date last year.
Wasn't $10,000, was it?
No, it wasn't $10,000. It was, in the 7 figures. It was wild. So
who was this with?
It was a company I had worked with, which is so cool because I work with a lot of companies I believe in so much that like I had worked with them. They were my first big contract. I'm not kidding you. In 2016. Was a year, or 17, something like that. 2016 or 17 was the first year I actually like made a little bit of money to cover my expenses, you know? And then come 2023 or 4, whenever we signed it, I can't remember what it was. I've worked with them every year since then. And like we've never walked away. I've done it like month over month for, what is that, like 7 years? Wow. It's wild. So I think the loyalty and the dedication builds also a trust with my following that it makes it worth it for the brand to be like, hey, I'm here to make it a win for me, a win for the brand, a win for the follower. Like that's my goal is like, how can we make it, if it's like that, it'll stay on longevity. I'm not here to do a one-off, especially at this point in my career. Like I have certain partners that are like pillars that because I've created such a value for my audience out of it, like I can give you a great example in Living Proof. Mm-hmm. Living Proof is one of my favorite partners. I love working with them. Their team's incredible.
Is that a shampoo?
Yeah, it's like a hair care company. Yes. Their team is incredible. I've worked with them, again, for like 7 years, I want to say. And we work together. And in a 24-hour period, we will sell on my channel more dry shampoo than Sephora sells in an entire calendar year in 24 hours.
Wow.
So it's wild. So the power of it is intense and wild, but like the loyalty and the trust that I've built, I think that's something that like if I could tell somebody who is a creator today, like starting today, you know, it's different than what I did, but like nobody can take away from you like your trust, the level of community you build, and someone who knows and has an audience that they can sell to, they'll never be out of a job. So like if the economy tanks, brands still need conversion. Like they still need sales. That's when they need it most. They need sales. If the economy is doing great, they still want somebody who can sell. So like whereas a celebrity maybe being paid for brand awareness may not be paid during certain times, brands always need sales. So I think though, what has made me such a powerful converter is the level of trust and authenticity I built over years to like now it works, but it only works because I've stayed committed and my no's were strong. Like, no, I'm not going to do that because it's not something I would like. Okay, something I feel that's really strong too is there was a season where the cereal company was paying a lot of creators a lot of money. And they came to me and approached me. And each box of cereal was about $10. And I was like, I can't rightfully sell a box of cereal that's $10. I, as a consumer, would be like, no. Unless it were like the greatest thing since sliced bread, then like, let me try it. So I take it, I try it. I didn't like it. I mean, some people probably do, but I didn't.
Okay.
And I was like, every single time that person sees that $10 box of cereal, they trusted me and it's in their pantry because they won't eat it because they don't like it either. For the next 6 months while it sits there until they throw it away, they're going to look at that and be like, I don't trust her. To some extent, like she sold me on this. I spent hard-earned money I have, whether it's $10 or, I mean, whether it's $10 or $100, like it doesn't really matter what it is. I was listening to a podcast the other day and it was Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bertoni. Yep. Or not Stephen Bertoni. I just gave you credit for Diary of a CEO.
Sorry, Steve Bartlett. Thank you. I wish my podcast was Steve Bartlett's. Thank you.
I just gave you credit.
He's a big Forbes under 30
member. He's incredible.
Yeah, he's great.
So I was listening to Diary of a CEO and it was Kevin O'Leary who was on it. And he looked at Stephen and Stephen asked for advice for like people in their 20s, young entrepreneurs, I think is what the question was. And he said, and it was to Stephen directly. And he said, you've built this, like it's incredible. You've garnered all this trust. Now it's yours to lose. And I feel like that with every single thing I step on there and sell or say, like this trust that I have spent literally now 10 years building, it's mine to lose every single time they buy something or trust me on it. Because it can take that long to build and like 2 seconds to lose. And so I will never sell something that compromises. If I don't fully believe in it, it's my no's a no for sure. And it's got to be like done in the way that I feel is the most authentic and value adding to them. So like in 2018, I completely stopped. Everything I film is on the fly right then, real time, right? I don't have anything for tomorrow. So like, it's not like stored, right? And I film everything I tell every brand I work with, I'm like, I film it in the Instagram app and I write on it immediately and post it that second. So like, if you want it, you better like ask me for it before I do it because I got to go, then you're never going to get it, right? Yeah. So like everything is that candid, that real, that off the cuff. And that is one of the things that makes my platform specifically strong. And so in 2020, brands really started wanting drafts and like pre-approvals on everything. And I would do it, but then the next day I would like make sure I was wearing the same thing I was wearing in that video and like try to make it flow through my day so it felt me because that my day flows. And it was ruining it for me. I like started hating my job, which I literally love my job. I wouldn't have done it for free. And so I was like, I hate this. Like you literally took what I love and made it what I hate. And my husband's like, if you hate it that much, are you willing to say no to it every single time they ask for it? Like your no's got to be a no. And I was like, yeah, I am. I'm ready to say no. And so I hard-nosed it. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like this is because I feel it's at the loss of my follower at the end of the day, like because she's not getting my normal authentic platform she comes here for. And I think it's not going to perform best for your brand. Like both things, and I hate it. So it's a lose across all situations. And so I'm going to say no because I have to. And if that's a non-negotiable for them, okay, like that's chill. Like then it's not right? The amount of brands that have trusted me, and I've like tried to make good on it. I've been like, hey, if I mess something up, I'll make it good for you. But just let me do it this way because I know it's going to turn out best for you, best for them, best for me. And so my no's been a no on that since 2020. I never take anything as pre-approval. Have not since then. And so I think my no's have been my biggest wins as a creator. Just like knowing in my gut when is right for my business, when is right for my community, when is right for me to say no and sticking with that. And my no is why I think people trust me today.
What was the biggest deal you've said no to?
For a pre-approval, Disney.
Oh, no, just for in general.
Probably Disney. Sad.
What was it for?
If I remember right, this is a couple of years ago. This is kind of when I like really put my foot in the sand. Okay. So like it was like, you really mean it kind of a thing? Yeah. You know? I think it was when Disney Plus was coming out.
Okay.
If I remember right. It was for Disney for sure. And I love Disney and I have young kids. So I was like, yes, please, like, let's do this. This is awesome. I'm so excited about this. And it felt like a big deal to me because, Disney's not like the smallest fish in the sea to work with. And so I was like, this is so cool. And they wouldn't budge. And my husband's like, your no is a no. And I was like, yeah, my no is a no. So, okay.
Like your husband's like the Yoda.
He's the best.
He's like the Yoda of social
literally
media.
The best
You've already
ever.
like quoted like three maxims from your husband.
I know. He's the best. We've been together since I was 15. So
okay.
I feel like he is like, he knows me inside and out. So he like knows. He's my great sounding board. So like he knows when I should say no, knows when I should say yes. But ultimately, I think like that trust, that audience, that community of women, like me caring about her every day since 2019 when I had that huge shift. It kind of sounds cheesy maybe, but every day I wake up and I'm like, how can I add value to the girl that follows me today? That's like my one question. And it's always the girl. Like I always see one, not more than one, whether that be a lot of times it's just entertainment, especially today. Like sometimes it's just fun. Like she laughs, like it's funny. Like my stupidity can make her laugh. Like I've had so many moments as a mom that are like, make her feel better, make her laugh. Whether it's me, like the other day I was talking about how I started taking anti-anxiety medication and like after I had my third kid, like that was a thing. And like whether that's validating for her in that way, whether it's entertainment, whether it's a great deal, whether she comes to me just for like a great deal, how do I add value to her life? How do I make her at the end of the day feel better about herself? So like full circle now, getting to do Nudes. My blog was something beautiful. And now like our entire mission statement at Nudes is to instill confidence. And so it kind of is like a full circle moment that like me adding value to her life, making her feel good about herself is my ultimate calling goal. I feel like it's very cool because I've grown up with these girls. Like they've watched me grow up, become a mom. A lot of them become a mom. And I feel like when I meet them like in real life, it's the coolest thing because it feels like I'm like, we could be friends. If I just like was right next to you all the time, we'd be like great friends. So it's really special and it's really cool. And I never take it for granted. But that's one of the most rewarding parts, I would say, of it.
I love that. It's so cool. And I'm glad you brought up Nudes. I was thinking not those kind of nudes, other nudes.
Yeah, right.
But like you talked about your community, your platform, and then and working with brands. And then you went out and created a big successful brand yourself.
Yeah. Nudes is wild.
Nudes. Tell me about that. How'd that come about? And also I love how you jumped from teacher to blogger to influencer. And now like you're in retail and apparel. Yeah. Tell me how that started.
Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, right? So like we laugh because my parents always laugh because my dad was an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And I always said,
what did he do?
He owns a construction company.
Okay.
Well, he owned like a window tinting company. I'm like, my dad's an entrepreneur like that. And I always told my parents growing up, I'm like, I'm never owning my own business because I saw when you're around small business or you grow up with a family who has small business, that's why I'm very passionate about it today. And like one of my favorite things to do, like as a give back, is support small business with Mike because me supporting a small business could be life-changing for them. And I think it could bring me to tears. It's the most rewarding part of my job. Like I literally love getting to affect a small business in some way. Like I think it's so cool. But yeah, so being an entrepreneur, I'm obviously like a serial entrepreneur, but when we went to start Nudes, I was advertising all these clothes for all these companies. And I was like, I could do this so much better. To adding value to her, like to making her feel good about herself, I'm like, I could do this better. I could make everyone feel better. Cause I'm always like putting it on and being like, you know what, you're going to feel really good in this, or don't get this, or like honesty to my core. Right. Like, so, I think that having done it for so many other brands for so long, I was like, I can do this. Like, I know I can do this. I had like in my family at the time, I'm one of 5 siblings and 4 girls. I know the body struggles. We're every size you could think of, like across the span, right? And so I was like, I know all of our struggles. We all live within a half mile of each other. We all compare everything, like clothes, whatever. And I'm like, we can do this. Like we could really do it. We could really make an impact here. And so I actually went out to one of the brands. I'm very, like we were talking about, I think like me caring about the brands I work with too, and the girls I work for, it's really cool because I've created such awesome relationships. I was on a brand call one day and I was like, hey, anybody who makes, I had 2 business ideas at the time. Nudes was one.
Okay.
And then I had another one. And I was like, you know anybody that makes XYZ? I'm not going to give you that one because I still think that's a great idea. And I'm going to do it one day. But, and he's like, no, I don't. And I was like, okay, well, do you know anybody who makes clothes? I said it like that because I have 0 experience in manufacturing clothing, right? And he's all, actually, like, a friend I went to college with does, and her husband, I think they do it. Like, I could connect you. And I'm like, sick. Oh, like, he's a hair care company. Again, like, zero relation. We just had really good, like, business relationship. And so he was willing to, like, connect me. I got on the phone with them, and wild, they came on as our, like, a year later. We contracted with them to, like, make clothes. We just, like, kind of saw where it would go. I made, like, a few products. Like, started with a T-shirt. I was like, hey, let's make a T-shirt that everybody feels good in. And I was like, once we nailed it, I was like, you think we could make a bodysuit? That would be something. Like if we could make a bodysuit that everybody felt good in. And so we did that. We came up with 7 products.
Did you design, like, and you're
All
into
of it.
stuff, you designed the cut and the color, everything?
I mean, I don't want to give myself credit for any technicality because, like I said, I had 0 experience in
Yeah.
clothing, but I did have experience in women. Like,
Okay.
so I did have experience in women, my demographic, the girl who follows me, what I'd looked for, what I hate, what I like, what's important, all of those things. And I feel like I say it all the time to our team, my naivety is part of the reason I think Nudes is successful today because we don't do anything conventional. Like everything is done based on the needs and the wants of the girl on the other side. That's it. That's what I start with. And so that's how I made those clothes. And I was like, okay, if I wanted this, what do I pick apart about every single one on the market and let me fix it? So that's exactly what we did. We came out with 7 products. We started like a year. We called it Nudes. I know you're laughing about it. We spelled it Nuuds because my husband didn't want people searching Daryl-Ann or Nudes.
Okay.
Like spelled correctly.
So your husband has all the advice. He knows it all.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I hope you wouldn't find anything. Go out. Everyone's gonna go out and try and find it now. I mean, go for it. But I think we didn't want that as a trending search term, you know?
I got it.
And so we spelled it
you start
different.
typing in the Google box, the first thing that comes down is
Daryl-Ann
that.
or Nudes. Yeah, right. We spelled it different. We launched October 28th of 2022, about a year and a few months after we started. Like, that's a long time. And for me, I'm an open book. Like, I kid you not, I take a pregnancy test, I tell the world I'm pregnant the next day. Like, it is like, I am like an open book. But with this, a year of holding this behind the scenes was like nothing I'd ever done before. And I knew I wanted to because if it didn't work out, I wasn't like attached to it then at that point. Because once I start sharing something that's real, I'm kind of attached to it because it becomes like real. Other people are in it with me. It becomes like, you know, something we all grab onto together. And I was like, if it doesn't work out, I have no experience in this. Like, it's okay.
Yep.
Like, I shot it, whatever. And like I said, I didn't go into it like anything to be small. I never do. But I never knew it would be what it is today. So we're 2.5 years in. It's grown like double digits every year. Like it's done over $100 million. It's like, it's wildly successful.
So it's done over 100 million in sales.
Yeah. And it's wildly successful because, in my opinion, money is not my driver. Like the girl in the end is my driver. And how big of a movement I can make it is the driver. Like how many people can I impact? I still have never taken a paycheck from Nudes. I don't get paid on payroll. My creator business is where I make a living.
Okay.
And then Nudes is like, most of the money gets reinvested back in it or whatever. Like, however, it does really super well, obviously. But like, I'm here to make an impact with it bigger than myself. Like, how do I get it outside of the audience I have? Because it's clearly resonating with the girl that follows me. And our repeat customer rate is like well over 80%, I want to say. So the girls just keep buying. And that's, in my opinion, and I think they would say this too, attributed to how it makes them feel. And like, it makes them feel good about themselves. And that's what's important to me at the end of the day.
There's so many t-shirts and clothing companies out there. What do you tell me about Nudes? Like like you said, you nitpicked everything. What does your clothes offer that other people don't? And what, like that success, how did that come about?
Yeah. So we launched with 7 products, October 28th, 2022. So it's about 2.5 years old.
Okay.
And I knew, again, nothing about clothing companies or only what I had sold for other people. And you only are privy as a creator to some, like not all the back end, obviously. I had vague ambiguity about units, but like no hard details, no hard numbers. And again, I had never sold something that was like my own like that. If at most it was a collaboration with a brand, at the closest, right? And so I was hopeful that there would be like some sort of traction because it was my own. But I never expected what happened. So like on launch day, we ordered 100, I remember it like it was yesterday. We ordered 100,000 units total, which I was like, holy crap. Like that sounds like so many units. But when you're ordering clothing, you're ordering for like 6 months and I was like, I knew I wanted it to be a brand that stood outside of who I was. Like I didn't just want it to be Nudes, a merch line of Daryl-Ann. I did not ever want that from day one. So I had that foresight going into it. And so we did things bigger than what it was to start. I was like, I really want the initial campaign shoot to be big. We did it in New York City. It was like big budget. I wouldn't have spent the budget now knowing, but I had no experience. So like, but I cared about everything. I cared about each model. I went and did the model go-see, like, which I didn't even know what the heck a go-see was at the time. But like you go and you like, they walk in and you can like hand pick the models. And I really wanted people with relatable body types to these women that followed me. Like I wasn't here to just make a clothing brand. I like to say like a lot of clothing brands feel cool. And I want Nudes to always feel like a you can sit with us brand. Like a very attainable, accessible, make you feel good, it can be yours too kind of brand. And I want that in my platform too, but like it's an extension of me. I want it to be that way as a clothing brand. And I think that's why it's resonated. On launch day, out of the 100,000, we're like, we'll put 50,000 up for sale just so there's plenty on there. And then over the next course of the 6 months that these will last, we'll like release them. So it's a brand. It's not, so that foresight like carried through. Like I didn't just want it to be like sell out on day one and we have nothing for another 6 months and then you don't really have a brand. Which I didn't think that was even possible,
Yeah, that's
to
like
be honest.
perfect. That's like a good problem to have.
Yeah, I never thought that was going to happen. But the 50,000 units we put on the site sold out in 7 minutes, all 50,000. And it was wild. I was like, I never expected it to go that. I was hopeful it would last. I would have been shocked if it sold out in a few days. Like that's a ton of units. Like I was like, and I was shocked. And so I was like, holy cow, we have something huge here. Like this is hitting. This is resonating with my community. How cool that we've made something that it speaks this loudly to them. And so I was like, how do I do it better? So the whole time today, I'm reinventing how do I do it better? So like I fit every piece of clothing on me. I nitpick it to high heaven, every single piece. And it doesn't matter. Like I like to compare nudes. There's been a few brands that I've had and they're not, maybe they are, but they're not the ones that I would think most people latch onto as like the cool success stories. But I think as an entrepreneur, what I would emulate and the brands I look up to maybe are a little bit different. Like I think Aloe is an incredible brand, like the yoga company. Aloe Yoga is a great company. Very different customer demographic. I feel like the reason Nudes is doing so well is because I know my customer so well. And like, that's not her. It's the coolest brand in the world, but she feels a little like outcasted by it. It's like, it's not something she feel comfortable dropping her kids off in school. Maybe her body is changing. Like mine is too. It's like a roller coaster of a season of life where you're like going through vulnerabilities you never even knew you had. And so I'm like, how do we meet her there? How do we meet me there? Like literally I'm there with you. Like how do we meet me there? And so we are trying, the two companies that I look at that I feel like catered really well to middle America. Most companies go like coastal first and then attract middle America. A lot of like Aloe is a great example. Very cool on the coasts. And then now have created this amazing mass brand across all of America. But two that I really look up to are On Running and Viore. And I feel like they're two where I've seen like them attract middle America first. And then now they're like this mass, wildly successful, massive brand that you feel like came out of nowhere, but middle America's known about them for a long time. And I feel like Nudes is the everyday girl. Like it is not your really cool, well, I think I would love to be her too. Like really cool California girl. Like it's not her. It's just your everyday mom that represents the mass of majority of what that demographic looks like. And I think that's why it's hitting so hard because a lot of brands are focusing on this like cool concept. We're focusing on where is she at right now and what does she actually want and what does she need today? And me knowing her so well, me being her, I think, is what has translated to Nude's success because no one's speaking directly to her like that. And giving her ease, accessibility, confidence, meeting her where she is, like that's all I care to do. And so that's what I'm here for. And I think like that's why it's been successful.
How'd you build that message? Like, especially when you said you sold out in 7 minutes, 50,000 units.
Yeah.
What was your playbook? How did you start advertising, marketing to your community with that?
That's a good question. I mean, it was, granted, it wasn't as schematic as it could have been. It kind of was like, I'd never done it before. So I just like tried something. I didn't have like this mass business plan blueprint of how I should do it. I often go with my gut. So we didn't announce it until a month before it launched.
You did it just on your social media?
Yeah, social media. So I created obviously a brand account. We ran into hiccups that I'd never run into, like trademark stuff and like thankfully launching it. But like, so we had finally come up with a brand name, finally come up with all these things. And so like I'd created these accounts and we made it. And then I launched it as, I believe it was a collaborative post. I don't even know if that was a thing at the time. I can't remember if I like just posted on Nudes account and then shared it to mine or if it was collaborative. But it was about a month before. I'm a big believer in like hype online is short.
Okay.
Like hate is short in the scheme. It feels long, but hype is short too.
So you can't have that big of a opening.
I don't think so. Yeah. 2 weeks is a long time on social media. Like, and so a month felt like I knew it was big, so I knew I needed to do the education in the back, and I wanted to do the education in the backstory and give myself an opportunity to like tell the story and the why of why I'm doing this, what it is, why it's serving the audience that I created it for. But it was really my passion project. It was not set. While I'm not surprised that it's $100 million business today, that wasn't like, it started as my passion project. It did not start for me to be like, how can I create $100 million business? It was not. That never was how it started. And I think today, while I do believe one day, seeing people like Hailey Bieber sell stuff for $1 billion, I'm like, I'm a big believer in seeing other people's success should not make you jealous. It should make you excited.
Yep.
Like every time I see it, I'm like, that is so cool. Like it opens the door of validation for me that it can be done. And if she can do it, I can do it. And so I think that seeing people online through that lens of like me seeing that just gave me validation of like, okay, today now knowing what it is, I do think it can get there. I do think it will get there. I have no doubts. But how we get there, I think I'm learning still too. Like I didn't know what I was doing then. So I started posting a month before. I like slowly rolled things out. I did it on my personal channel. I again was really intentional that it didn't feel like a merch brand.
Okay.
So I like started its own platform. I think it amassed like 100,000 followers at announcement. It was obvious that people were excited about it from the beginning.
That's a big jump right there.
Yeah. So I think within 24 hours, it had 100,000 followers and just of announcement like a month before. And so I was like, okay, people are excited about this. This is going to be awesome. Now deliver on it, which delivering on it was never a question. I had been trying to deliver on it since a year before that. Just nobody knew about it. But I, again, didn't talk about it because I felt like the hype window is short. I am excited that's my personality too. I'm excited about something for a minute, but then I like move on to something else,
Yep.
you know? I think I gave it a month. I think that was the right timing. I would do that again. And so now we're a drop-based model. That wasn't even intentional either, but we drop things weekly. And I think because our returning customer rate is so high, we have a lot of girls shopping all the time, and I'm able to like innovate and do fun new things every other week at least. And so being able to do that is really fun. And so that's where I sit.
How big is the company now? You said you've done over 100 million in sales in 2 years.
2 years.
How many employees do you have?
That's a great question. I think in the 30s.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Is it based in Dallas with you guys?
It's based in Dallas. We actually have an office in New York City. Our design and production team is there. My goal is to get that in Dallas. I think there's so much win in collaborating in a room together. I think that got lost in COVID. Call me so old school, but I love getting people under the same roof. And like, I feel like that's where our best ideas come from. The minute I can get us all in a room, I'm like, we come up with way better ideas than we do apart. And so my goal would be to have it all under one roof in Dallas. But right now it's split. So marketing, logistics, tech, e-com, finance, all that's in Dallas. And then design and production right now is in New York.
How do you juggle it all? I mean, are you running Nudes yourself?
My husband runs Nudes. So
Okay. I was say like being a creator, a full-time job, you
Yeah.
have a big family, and then you're running a $100 million.
I have help.
Yes.
A lot of help.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that
But your husband's running the business of Nudes?
my husband acts more like a CEO of Nudes.
Okay.
I think technically today we're evaluating that. I mean, you're getting like off the cuff with me.
Okay.
But I'm technically the CEO and creative director of Nudes. Where I thrive is in the creative direction and in the like, what does the customer want? That is where I know her so like I don't want to act like I know everything about her, but like I feel like from the 10 years I've done this, I've gotten a pulse on who she is and what she wants so well that that's where I don't want to be replaced in the business. That is where I feel like I am most valuable, adding the most value. And it's really curbing it as to how I can do that full time rather than being distracted by different things. So my husband really acts as like the CEO of like business, like running the business. What's really cool is mentioned my family. We have a really tight-knit family. My brother is a COO. So he does all of the tech, all of the e-com, all the logistics. And he's extremely smart and great with Excel, which neither of us are.
Okay.
And so it's really valuable to have someone like that on your team. And so the three of us run it together.
I have a big question. You mentioned, a superpower of yours is really understanding your community, understanding your followers, 2 million folks that are obviously very different. Yeah. How do you think you have insight into what they want? Is it like you said you're a gut person? You said your gut, but also is it in comments? Is it in data? Like how do you know your community so well?
So going back to that 2019 phase where I decided like I changed my platform essentially. Yeah. Like I went from this curated fashion blog to what we know today as a lifestyle creator. That wasn't a known term then, but that's exactly what I did. I pivoted from fashion blog to lifestyle creator. In that time, when I was kind of in my DMs a lot because I was like nervous making the shift. Like I was concerned about what was going on. I also knew that I shifted to now being like this mom that they could relate to. I knew that. So every single night, I'm not joking you, every single night, my husband and I would stay up as late as it took, him and I side by side, in bed. We had no kids at the time, obviously. And most nights it was till at least 2:30 in the morning. I responded to every single DM I got. I get upwards of 5,000 DMs a day.
Wow.
So at that time, it was about 2,000 to 3,000 a day. Every day I answered every single message. Not one got outsourced. It was him and I sitting, him asking me next, so because I couldn't type 2 at once, so we could do 2 at once. Him asking me what to say, me responding to one, him typing out my other one, 2 at a time, like as fast as we could. And it wasn't outsourced at all. I didn't hand it off to anyone. And I think talking to her I did that for probably a year, and until I had a child. So I think
that's a big commitment.
Yeah, but it was really about her at the end of the day, and like understanding her, connecting with her. What does she want? Who is she? What is she like? I care about her. And so I didn't know it then. That is exactly why I have a good pulse on her today. Exactly why. I had no idea that's why I was doing it. I was doing it to like kind of watch my transition, see how it was going, gauge how it was going. Little did I know I was setting it up for exactly what I needed to know today. Like I was pulsing her, knowing her, learning her so well that like now we can be as impactful as we are because I laid that foundation. I didn't know I was doing it at the time, but that's why.
That's wild. I love that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I want to end on a business note.
Let's do it.
Again, you dove into building Nudes, building a brand.
Yeah.
And you said you learned by doing, experimenting, going ahead. What is for anyone out there for any creator out there who wants to start a brand or a brand that wants to start a creator-backed product?
Cool.
What's your playbook? What's your advice?
Okay. Forward motion is forward motion is what I always say. So I don't know what I'm doing half the time. 90% of the time. I've never done this. I've never forged it. Forward motion is forward motion. So like, I often think that I get messages all the time from people like, hey, I want to start a blog, or I want to start not a blog anymore. I want to start an Instagram account. I want to do what you do. I think 2 things. A, money can never be the driver. Like, I think if money is the driver, like if I get an email, I'm not trying to be rude at all, but if I get an email from a girl that's like, I really want to make money to do this, I'm like, you counted yourself out right from the beginning. Mm. The most successful people, in my opinion, are the people who have a passion for it and love it. Money's a side effect. Like, I mean, it's great money. I'm not acting like it's not, but like, it's the people who make the greatest amount of money in this, in my opinion, are the people who do it out of a passion and a love for it that shows up. Like, I've seen it time and time again. So I think like really figuring out what you love to do, doing that. And then I think like with a creator-backed business, a lot of times I think doing research, that's like a big thing. I do it too, but I notice it even in myself a lot, that doing research is disguised procrastination. And so I think nothing can and meditation, I know that's a big thing. Thinking about something is not as effective as putting one foot, like moving your foot. Like, so I think forward motion is forward motion. Do it. If you want to try it, do it. Like I think embarrassment is the cost of entry. Like at the beginning, like if I wanted to continue what I was doing, embarrassment was the cost of entry and I had to just show up and do it. And so I think that nobody can take away consistency. You can't beat up somebody who doesn't quit. Like if you want to do it and you have a passion for it, try it. Like what is it going to be? Embarrassment? Like truly, probably embarrassment, but it can't, if you're passionate about it, it's going to work. If your intention is that strong, it's going to happen for you. Like, I think if somebody wants to be a creator, I don't care how saturated it is, you absolutely could do it. Like, if you want to start a business, you can do it. What people can't take away from you is forward motion and actually putting one foot in front of the other and like I'm here for it. Like, do all the research you can. I do too. Like, I don't want to go into something stupid, but like, the person who's going to win is the person who's consistent and does it anyways and steps out and just tries and puts themselves out there for embarrassment. And so I'd encourage anybody to do it. If you want it and your intention's that strong, you'll get it. You'll get it. And I think it's cool.
It's a perfect spot to end.
Okay, good.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Daryl-Ann, thank you for joining the Forbes Top Creator Show.
Thanks for having me.
Terrific.